mullet or a piece of flesh or whatever, squid, whatever. And when you cast with a longer trace, that tends to the sinker overshoots the bait, and the bait overshoots the sinker. But when you're running your sinker right down onto your bait, which I do for jack fishing, onto the hook, top of the hook, it all casts nicely, so it's fine. But for lure casting, obviously it's perfect because the weight's at the bottom all the time. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, quality on these fellows, look, that's what I started at. Something like an Abu. It's 6 to 10 kilos, again running 30 pound braid. And the reel's got enough drag on it to, it's about 7 kilos. It's enough to handle anything that you're going to catch in most situations. And it definitely holds 150 metres of 30 pound braid, so good capacity. Something like that. On special around about that sort of 169 mark. They do cheaper ones as well, but that's where I started. If you go up the rank a bit, how many guys barrafish? Any guys barrafish? You do? So you're probably using Corrados or Tranks or whatever, Tachulas or something. That's a Corrado DC. That's what I use for barra and use for jacks as well. I can cast in the dark for jacks all night long and not get one tangle. Could be blown 20 knots subtly, whatever. You barely get a tangle. It's got a computerised micro processor that eliminates any backlash. So it applies the brake. Sorry, mate.
What have you got them at the moment?
About $398, I think. Online, about $439 or something like that. Yeah, around that 400 mark. Yeah, so that's the 200 size. That rod's a Corrado rod as well. It's rated at around 10 kilos, but it's quite a strong 10 kilo. You can run 40 pound all day long. Very similar to a Loomis, because Shimano own Loomis. Okay, they bought them out a few years ago. But that's a really good quality outfit. Yeah, it's sort of around that $500-600 mark. It's built up, sort of thing. Yeah. So does that all make sense? The only other thing I didn't talk about was the length of rods in baitcaster and spin. In spin, I try and keep that around about 6'6" to 7'2" or 7'4", and in baitcast, that's as long as I'd use, which is around about 7'6", I guess. That's the Zodius as well. Again, you feel everything with it. Very fast, aggressive action on it, and obviously baitcast is whichever you prefer to use. But that's the longest one I'd use, and then the shortest length, getting back to that style there, so a bit of difference, right? So if you're land-based and fishing under bridges and got cover and trees and whatever around you, that's going to be the pick. When you go up to North Queensland where they're fishing for jacks under creeks and all that sort of stuff, they use a little, what they call a dash. It's called the dash. They're 4'6", and that's what I use on jacks, 4'6". But everyone down here thinks you've got to use that big long one. But you don't. Okay, it just looks cool, but impractical sometimes. That's more practical. Or 6 foot, 6'3". Yeah, so it's just up to what you guys want to use. I must admit that north, they're fishing creeks that are only about 20 foot wide. We're fishing bridges here, so it's a bit different. But we're not casting far, we're casting up. Okay, any questions on that at all? Okay, next is braid. Now, always we talk about thin braid, get a strong thin braid, okay? Because it's really nice to use, it's very thin. So you can use a 20 pound braid that's 10 pound thickness. But for jacks, it's really not the best thing, because most of those very